Drunk now.
Bow.
You hear me?
What up, man? It's been a minute, bro.
Hey, it's been such a minute. My internet don't even know how to act right.
Bro, I'm super close to my. Oh no, hold on. Wait out for a minute. I'm super close to my camera. I wish I could move it, but I can't. I don't know what's going on.
Too much.
That's gonna
too
be
much.
a glitch I'm gonna have to fix. I can't hear you, Mike.
You hear me now?
There you go. Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I don't know. We got some bad weather out here, man. It's been raining, windy, so it's look like it knocked everything out. That's what it seemed like.
That's no love right there. Trying to get
not at all.
I couldn't get you through my headphones, man. There's a lot of glitches going on, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going.
Oh, there you go again. Yeah, your internet gonna be choppy. I see. You went out for a second. Hold on, I'll unmute you. All right, can you hear me?
Hold up.
Can you hear me?
Hold up.
Now you
it's
good
the
now?
weather. I should be good.
Yeah. You said it's the weather. What y'all got
It's
out
the
there?
weather, and then everybody off, so everybody probably on the internet.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid. That's what I was afraid of over here, man. Everybody gonna be up and on the internet because usually we late night over here, so it ain't no problems. But yeah, I'll worry about it. But we good for now. We'll see how long it lasts. What's up, everybody in the building, man? Came to see us out. If you in the States, man, really much love because I know you burning that midnight oil. So whatever you doing, I appreciate you tuning in. If you about to go to sleep or just come back from the club, whatever you doing, I appreciate it, man. But what's been up, man? Hey, let's rewind the journey real quick. But go ahead.
Yeah, hey, man, what hasn't been up, man? Between leave, we've been off since the convention, absent convention. That was a decent time. What else? Unfortunate times, man. Had to go on emergency leave. What else, man? Couple exercises out where we at. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
But shaking and moving, man. You know, you already know it. What's up on your end?
Bruh. So I think when you took leave, I took leave right when you came back. Or right when right when you came back, I think.
Right, right.
I took leave. So bruh, first of all, I respect you. I salute you. I give you a big bro hug. I don't know how you did Shaw Air Force Base for however long you did it, bruh.
Hey,
There
5.5 years.
bruh, I
Five and a
don't know
half years.
how you. Let me tell you, there ain't nothing out there.
Oh,
Nothing.
and all right, you talking 2022. Imagine
Right.
2004.
Hey, I don't know what that, bruh. Nothing out there. Nothing but a Buffalo Wild Wings, which could have been a strip club at night. I wasn't for sure. A car dealership, about 3 cars, and a Chick-fil-A. Did y'all
and
have that Chick-fil-A out
no,
there?
we ain't had no Chick-fil-A. In the Golden Corral.
Oh, see, I didn't see the Golden Corral.
It's like in the town. It's like in Sumter.
Bro, first of all, Sumter is like that big.
Yeah, you drive
Bruh.
through it in like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Hey, so let me tell you something. Chick-fil-A, I was like, cool to Chick-fil-A, I'll be straight. Bruh, they had a sign. You know when you had an amusement park and you be like, at this point, you got 40 minutes?
Yeah.
They had a sign say at this point it's an extra 20 minutes. I said, you gotta be
Hey,
freaking kidding me.
shout out to everybody out there, sharp man. Hold your
Hey,
head up.
yeah, you ain't lie. So anyway, so we were driving to Columbia every day just to find something to do, which wasn't really much anyway.
Yeah,
So we were we were doing that. And then I went home on leave, got to see the fam. That was good. And then I went to Colorado. My one of my good close friends retired. So I went to go see his retirement, which was love. Met up with a couple people that I knew that, kind of lost touch with. So that was straight.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. And then man, bruh, took that long flight back here. I'm gonna tell you, I've been back for a week. Is a week on Thursday. My
Yeah.
sleep schedule is still messed up,
Oh, I already
bruh.
know.
Oh yeah, already, bruh.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about what we don't go through, or we talk about what we don't go through, like the hidden stuff that we go through, sleep schedules is one thing that just blows my mind.
What sleep schedule?
That's a good point.
Hey,
That's
it's
a
nothing
good point.
scheduled about this sleep that any of us probably get.
Man, that's
None
state. So
whatsoever.
you probably the same way. Going to the States was not as bad. It didn't. It
Right.
only seemed like it took me a day or two to adjust. But coming back out here, whew, I mean, I'm off.
Yeah.
Like my body, like, what the heck are you doing? Like it's time to be up, and my brain, like, nah, man, it's dark outside. Let's go to bed.
Yeah.
And we just off. We just way off right now. But other than
Yeah.
that, man, just get back in the swing of things and stuff. Busy, man.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Not
Yeah,
too
no, I'm
bad.
glad to be back, man. Like you said, a shout out to the people, man. Speaking of people, man, I ran into so many. If you this to everybody, if you haven't been to the ABSA convention, go. Like next time you get the opportunity, go. Like it was a decent time, man. Like I said, I seen people I haven't seen in like 15 years, bro.
So a big ass reunion.
Yeah, 15 years, man. I ran into Ty Simmons, I got to see him down there. Chief Woods, Chief Counsel, Chief Gilbert. I ran into all of them, man. Like I said, people I hadn't seen, defenders that went doing the shirt duty now, man. It was good. It was good, man. Good information about where we're moving as an enterprise. Just overall, and then it was Texas, San Antonio, so the weather was good.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, shout out to anybody who hasn't been. Go have a good time. Go get some good information, eat some good food, run into some good people, and enjoy it, man. But it's a lot of changes coming down the pipe, man. What's happening out there on your end though?
Bruh, I mean, we busy, a lot of secret shit, but we just super busy with everything and just just busy.
Right.
A lot of stuff will come out, after the fold, which will be cool, and we can talk about it afterwards. But it is gonna be really busy. But
Yeah.
that's straight. Yeah. Good news. This is open to all. I didn't know this. Look. Shout out to Chief Wiener. Go ahead and post our first comment. Oh, she's overseas now. I think she's overseas in Germany now.
Germany.
I think
Yeah,
she took
yeah.
it. Yeah. Okay. Just need to book a room and ask your leadership, and they'll find it. Man, that's what's up. Because you know
Hey, I'm
what?
telling you. Go ahead.
Huh?
I hear you. What you say?
No. Because you about to tell me something about it.
No, like is good when you got good leadership, man. Because when I got on ground, I had talked to my leadership when I got out here, man. They was with it from the joint. It was like, just let us know when it get close or whatever, and support it. They supported it, man. So it was a good time. To be honest with you, I mean, like you said, long flight, but it was well worth it. It was well worth it.
So me and Brian were talking about going next year. I think next year's in Houston.
Okay.
I think, but Dallas, Houston, somewhere in Texas again. I could be wrong, but yeah, we were talking about going. But I will say, not saying that I always wanted to go, but since I knew about it, probably since I was a tech, probably a tech.
Yeah.
I wanted to go and never got the opportunity. It's just, I guess it
Timing.
matters who's in your leadership chain. Yeah, I should have said that. That's a better way of saying it. Time is everything.
Timing. Yeah, time is everything.
Yeah. And who's it? It's very. I guess don't get frustrated if your leadership tells you no. It's all like you said. It's all about time, right place, right time.
Yeah.
And even when you ask them, it's just so much about this little nonsense, little incidents of time that shift the way things go. And it's sometimes. Go ahead.
You got to think about, man, and if the mission is going to allow it, funding, it's a lot. So people, I mean, even when you do hear no, you got to look at the bigger picture.
Do you think a lot of it is who you are as a person and what you have done for the organization?
That too.
Okay.
I think so. Because if you ain't putting in no work, right? You ain't putting on no work. You're not supporting the unit the way you're supposed to. You ain't taking care of people. As I see it as a reward in a sense, opportunity and a reward in a sense. So if you're not putting in work, then why? Why should you be able to go when somebody can go that's going to actually bring information back, share it with the people, or somehow make sure the unit get a benefit out of it, for allowing you to have that opportunity. So I think it does matter.
I think you said a lot of good things that I hope Chief Wiener on. Maybe she can correct me or you can correct me. But a lot of it is what you just said, bring stuff back. Because a lot of people think you just party out there, meet people, say hi to people, take pictures, and that's it. There's a lot greater message that I haven't been. So you could say it more than I, but that's what was always the message. Like, what are you going to bring back to the unit? And a lot of it's like, shit, I ain't never been. But a lot of it is why you might see more senior NCOs going or even NCOs going than airmen. I'm sure there's a shit ton of airmen out there. Go
ahead. Nah, you right. And I was it was good to see. It was good to see, the junior list, the airmen there, and getting that opportunity, because it was a lot of senior leaders, but it was good to see that airmen got the opportunity to go, be it they was already in Lackland or if the unit supported them. One of my good buddies, man, we was in OSAN together. Shout out to Travis Ferguson. He was down and he came down with his troop, staff sergeant. So that was his first time, his troop's first time. I don't know if it was Ferg's first time. He got to bring him down there. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was one staff sergeant, man, female. I didn't catch her name, but Simsaf got up there, people got a chance to throw some questions out there and get some answers to some things they might have been thinking about. And this one staff sergeant, man, blew my mind. I think blew the mind of a lot of the people in there, because Simsaf was talking about, the amount of individuals in the enlisted corps that has degrees, the percentage of enlisted corps that has PhDs, a lot of educated individuals, on the enlisted side and officer side as well, of course. But she was talking about that. She was giving the demographics of what that was. And then the staff sergeant got up, looked like she was younger, maybe, early 20s. Could have been 25, but she got up there, right? And she was like, you just told us about the demographics and the amount of enlisted individuals that have PhDs and master's degrees and stuff like that, is working on doctorates and everything. And in comparison to the officer corps, right? She said, so with that being said, at what point are we going to start getting paid, Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she blew my mind with it. She was real. She didn't get up there, but she wasn't unprofessional or nothing like that. So if she is following us, shout out to you. But she was like, at what point is the money going to kind of match up or whatever? Because you're saying, how the amount of personnel in the enlisted corps are, have college degrees and educated and stuff like. I thought it was a good question, man. But then Simsap told her that they are working on the numbers and evaluating the enlisted pay. Because I think the last time, if somebody was there, correct me if I'm wrong, I think she said the last time that it had been reviewed was like 20 years.
God dog.
Yeah. So she was like, they was working on it. They was moving forward with looking at the review and stuff like that. To look at the pay, and then you got inflation and stuff that's happening right now on top of the imbalance of enlisted pay with just regular society. You know what I mean? Because minimum wage and got raised, and so we got to match up because we still got to survive in the society as well. But I thought it was a good question. I thought it was real.
No, that's I mean, first of all, whoever that was, if they do follow us, man, it takes a lot, man, to get up there. Yeah, it takes a lot to get up there and ask a question that I bet you everybody's been thinking, but nobody wants to ask.
Right.
And those take a lot of internal fortitude, I'll say, to get up there and do that. So shout out to them, man. That's huge. I wish we can get a better answer on that, or I shouldn't say a better answer. I can't wait for a answer on that.
She did answer. I just want to see the results. That's what
the results. That's what I should have said. Yeah.
The results.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you know what? Some inside baseball, man. So while I was out there, man, I did a little a job interview, which I normally do in companies that I can't go work for now because of my military commitment. But make sure I'm still relevant, right? So fill out your resumes and make sure my resume is still up to par and get a little. Now, I've been on probably 15 interviews since I've been out here in the year. Mm-hmm. All of them have been online. I've not had one request to come in person. So that's a benefit as well. They're all online. So you just got to put on a nice shirt. You can wear whatever you want on the bottoms and you just do your interview. It's a lot nicer. You know what I mean? So you ain't got to make sure your shirt really wrinkled. Look, hold on. She said, man, this lady said, Chief, we don't do this podcast around your time. All right, that's number one. All right, we have a lot of people all over the world. We don't just do it around your time frame. But hey, love you, Chief. It's good to see you, man. Hey, fly Eagles fly. 4-0. Fly Eagles fly.
Chief, send me that picture too. I don't even know who phone we had. It was so many people. I don't know who phone took the picture, but we got to take a picture of me, him, and dang, who was with us, man? I when I figure out the name, I know if he watch, he gonna curse me out.
Facts.
I'm salty right now. I can't think of his name. I ain't even going. I'll figure it out later. Anyway, but Chief, send me the picture.
Yeah. Look, Felicia Ferguson on here. Yo, that's my very first supervisor, bro. That's a dangerous woman right there because she got so many stories about me that it's gonna get scary. But anyway,
please come up here one day and tell them stories.
She got some stuff that probably I don't remember. But
yeah. Tell them stories, please.
Yeah. Hey, Chief Weeder getting shout outs on our stuff. Man, how does that happen?
You better not do it. Last time she briefed you, you better.
Yeah, nah. So anyway, so going on interviews and stuff. So they're all online, right? Bruh, when I say how overqualified you are, that you probably don't know you are, it's you know what? Chief was my first supervisor. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. God damn it. All right, anyway, but how overqualified you were, Yeah. Anyway, how overqualified? It's like how overqualified you are to go on civilian job interviews, bro. It's ridiculous. Let me just hit you with this. All right, we could just play this quick little interview game with Michael Denson, right? Big Mike. Right. We're gonna interview you real quick.
All right.
Very first question out the gate, right? After you get to know your intangibles, right? After you get to know who you are as a person, where you're from, what you do, blah blah blah. Right? We don't care.
Right.
So he said, all right, Mr. Denson, we have you have 4 employees that you're responsible for. How are you going to deal with tasks that you have multiple tasks to complete? How are you going to deal with them?
4 employees?
You have 4 employees, but you have multiple tasks that you have to complete. How do you prioritize them?
prioritize them. First
Yeah.
of all, I got 4 employees. They got multiple tasks, and I delegate, and then I oversee the tasks that they doing.
Isn't that so? That's how the questions are. It's so stuff that we do every single free that you probably don't even think about and can't put into words.
But
So
that's why I repeat it for, because on a daily you got 25 to 40 people.
yeah, and it's crazy because it's so easy for us that it's almost like I'm almost dumbfounded. Like, bro, that's so simple. Like, I don't even know how to answer that.
Right.
And it's all about the company's priorities. What's the company's priorities? What's my boss's priorities? Just like what's the Air Force priorities? What's your commander's priorities? What's your supervisor's priorities? And then what priorities do you have to your team?
Yeah,
That's really it. And next question is, bro, you're gonna laugh at this one. How would you deal with disputes at your section? Or I'm trying to use some terms that but how would you deal with disputes under the section that you are responsible for? So you have 4 employees, 2 employees have disputes. How would you deal with that?
sit them down, figure out the problem, hash it out.
Bruh. I'm telling you, it's just these are the questions. These are the questions, and this is bruh. I even put the name out. This is Lockheed Martin, bruh, a supervisory position that starts at $110 a year. Man. And these are the questions that they ask. And now I know why the retention level. The whole point of this, the retention level is so hard because they get you. I think Chief Simmons said on our last podcast that he did with us. So shout out to him for doing that.
For sure.
We harp so hard on, especially security forces, harp on so hard on leadership stuff that we are so overqualified that we don't even know it because we're so hard on each other as far as leadership. Because you'll look at somebody and be like, they're not a good leader, bro. In the civilian world, you think anybody checks on somebody after 5 o'clock? They, they're gone.
They don't. Right. Somebody else said it, but go ahead. I got somebody else was talking about that. Go ahead though.
What's up, Romeo? Glad you up in here, man. I hope Turkey, if you're still in Turkey, I hope Turkey's good. But yeah, man, so it's we got to talk like after the interview, that's when you really get interviewed, right? And you start talking to the person, right? Then they turn off the cameras, the recording device, and you really start kind of like what we do. But
got it, Chief.
You really start talking to them and you say, like, where these questions come from. And it goes back to most of these people are prior military, especially still kind of government contract things. And they'll tell you, like, you are so overqualified, you have no idea. It's because you do it so often. It's ingrained in you now. It's part of your DNA that you don't even know what's inside of you. Yeah. It's like you're good at bowling. Like, I don't know why you're better at bowling than most. I don't get it. Right. But it's you practice, you just athletic. All those intangibles that nobody sees, that nobody has saw, that you could just do it.
Yeah.
That's how we are as far as leaders, especially in security forces, especially. It is so crazy, man. It's really mind-boggling and almost makes me mad at the same time because we harp on each other as leaders and we do such a great job. There are some people out there that don't. I get it. But we do such a great job as leaders, as people that want to be leaders, that when you step out, you be like, man, this is easy. This is almost a waste of my time. You ain't. That's why people say it's less stress because you don't have to worry about this person, man. If they go home and get a DUI, which hopefully nobody does. First of all, you'll never know. You'll never know unless they tell you. Unless they tell you or have to go to court and they're just that honest about it. They'll just take leave, go to court, and do what they have to do. You'll never know if these people have a medical emergency. At late at night, you'll never get a phone call. You might get one in the morning that said, I'm not going to be at work. But then again, it's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. But anyway, I just want to share those nuggets for the people that's on. People will probably already know. But if you haven't, I tell you, one of my biggest advices I ever got was go out there and do an interview. Do a mock interview. Knowing you can't get hired, it's okay. And you just got to be honest and tell them. But knowing you can't get hired, it's really good. It's really good.
No, people got to. You got to keep your skills tight, right? You got to stay sharp, because it is competitive, just like it is in our world. But I think a lot of people do, especially when you do this so long, you be so used to what you're doing, and you don't think about that until you get, 16, 17, 18 years in, and you start looking at knocking on retirement's door. You know what I mean? And then people start thinking about it. But you got to stay sharp. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
got to stay sharp. But it's important though. I have never done that. I never went and like did an interview just gee whiz and see where I stand. But I think that is something good, like I said, to stay sharp. What you talking about? You got like
So
72 questions down there.
he said, "What the duck are we talking about? What about the ozone? I don't know. I don't know.
Ozone.
What the duck are
Chief
you
think he
talking about?"
think he's watching Bill Nye the Science Guy. Or something.
Yeah, on National Geographic and stuff. What, bro, I don't know nothing about the ozone. My internet working? Does that have anything to do with the ozone? I don't know. Lack of mental health provider. We can talk about that. Beards, Mike. I want to talk to you about that one because we've been putting that one off. And Kanye West whack T-shirts.
I don't know.
What?
I'm not even touching that.
Oh, I don't even know nothing about that.
Yeah, you don't want to know about it. I ain't touching that one. Mental health providers and beards.
Okay, now I'm about to have to look it up because I don't know
Yeah.
anything about that.
Yeah, don't. I ain't touching that one.
Wow. Okay. All right.
No, that's good. Go ahead, go on the beards thing, man. That's been a hot topic, just in general, man. I would tell you this: I see more people with beards than I've ever seen in my 18 years in the last probably 180 days. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to check again and make sure it ain't authorized because I'm like, what did I miss something? But let's talk about it.
Wait, hold on, Chief.
Go ahead.
Chief, you must be a member of what, or is that just someone who was shouting you out? I'm not sure what member of, or maybe somebody trying to get a comment. You do have to be signed on if that's what it is. What about Stephen A. Smith? Oh man, that was a good one. Did you see that Stephen A. Smith thing?
No.
Chief, are you talking about the thing with Human Idoka when Idoka got fined for dating that girl or having that relationship with that girl who was married at the Spurs? Was it the Spurs? Oh, Chief, tell me if that's what you're talking about. If it is, we can go on that because that's a good one. But yep, that's what he's talking about, bro. We'll go. Okay, Chief, we'll go on to that after the beards, bruh. If you didn't see that Stephen A. Smith thing about Idoka, bruh, I know you don't follow sports like that, but bruh.
No,
bruh.
I seen that. It looked like a bunch of drama. I stayed away from it.
Yeah, it was a bunch of drama. But anyway,
It looked like it. You cut out. Pete done cut out. Y'all don't know what's going on with his connection. Chief, what are you talking? Chief, hit me with some on this beards thing, because I think you done came at us about 2-3 times with this one. So give me your initial thoughts on it. Pete, get your life together over there if you can hear me. You done frozen everything.
I think I'm back on. Let me see. Let me see. Stream is. Hold on. Where is Big Mike at? Why am I in this stream by myself? Nobody else. Hold on. Let me get Big Mike to come back in here if y'all can hear me. Give me 1 second, real quick. Yo, man, Chief, we dealing with some overseas stuff. The internet ain't what it is, man. Give us a break. Goodness gracious. Like, production's hard over here. You know what I mean? Production's not easy. Sometimes you at the mercy with what's going on. So I gotta hit Mike up. Let me get him back on here real quick. Man, I can't get Mike back on here. Give me a second, fellas. Or ladies and gentlemen, I should say. Oh, there go Big Mike. Hold on. All right, bro. Whew. Bruh.
Hey.
That's why we call this 2.0.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Chief. First of all, Chief, I need you to calm down a little bit. Dave, Jakey, brothers from first of all, I'm at the mercy of the overseas internet. So this is your taxpayer dollars not doing. You probably didn't pay your taxes. That's why we look like the internet out here. I need you to do your portion and pay command chief taxes. We just talk about pay. I need you to pay taxes. All right, hey, man. I don't even know where we left off at, bro.
Hey, Beards. Chief fired off like 93 messages about Beard, and my man texted me said the ozone layer is Snatch P internet.
Hey, why I gotta be my internet? What was your internet doing?
Hey, I was still going.
Oh, I thought I was still going, so I was still sitting here talking. I was like, am I talking to myself? Because I can't see anything. Yeah, but we back, man. Hopefully this lasts a little bit longer.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. Nah, I ain't sorry, man. It ain't my fault. But anyway, beards. So I have never seen so many beards in my life, like you said. I've never seen so many demographics with beards in my life. I don't even know, and I'm not ashamed for saying this. I can't tell you right now. I can tell you where to find it.
Then I said,
I don't know right now the beard standard. Who can and who can't get one? No idea. What did you say?
I mean, besides medical and religion, well, I mean, they ain't fit in that category. Then you already know what it is.
Sure, that could be a thing. But I'm like, can everybody get one?
What you mean?
Can everybody get a beard?
No, I just told you if they ain't fitting in them two categories. What do you mean?
It's so people just growing them just willy nilly, just doing whatever they can do.
I'm assuming they got waivers. I'm assuming they got exceptions to policies or something. Everybody just ain't not either that or they just not following rules, standards, and discipline. Period.
Yeah, what is that? Hey, Chief. I don't know why you can't see everybody's comments. I mean, we can. If you can't see Ensemble comments, he was the last one to comment right after you, after you're 29, which I appreciate too. I ain't talking. Thank you. With your I appreciate your comments, but you might have to scroll up. Anyway, they have to have a medical or religious waiver. So does everybody just have one? And you can't ask people, right?
Huh?
You can't ask people. Is that a HIPAA thing?
What you mean? If you ask somebody they got a shaving waiver, they got a waiver. That's why they give them waivers.
Only issue is it seems like the issue of the waiver is more lenient than the 100%. I mean, I can go in there today. My face looks like a baby bottom right now, but I can go in there today and just tell them like, "Yo, I need a, I need a waiver," and I'm sure they'll give me one without any kind of fight. I mean, I think a lot of people don't want to get caught up in maybe on social media. They don't want to get caught up as the medical person that didn't get out no waiver.
No, I mean, but it's still standards and discipline. I mean, if you got a legit medical issue with shaving, I mean, I was diagnosed with pseudofolliculitis in basic training. But I learned how to shave. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I haven't went and gotten a waiver. I didn't have, like I said, I learned how to shave. So some people can. Some people is worse than others. If they have a legit reason, then cool, you know. But if you're just trying to be a part of the, the cool club, or the I want to do what I want to do club, then that's something different, you know.
I think we talked about this. Maybe Chief Roman and I talked about this. He said, but you can, but you may get the bid. And that's 100% what I'm talking about this. You said that. What?
Who are you talking about?
Wow. Press Big Mike. You said you said that flawlessness? I don't know. I don't know what the
Who we
hell.
at?
What Chief just said. Look on the screen. But I
Wow,
think of
you said that flawlessly. Wait, I don't
what
know
he
exactly.
said. Yeah. But anyway, so here's my problem with it. When you came into the military, I was told, so I'm sure it's still being told now, that you need to shave. You are going to have a clean shave face when you come into the business. When you come in this organization, that's one of the things you're going to have to have. You knew the rules before you come in, right? I get if you have a medical reason for changing it,
Mhm.
but even a religious, I could ride with that one as well. I could ride with that. But you knew the rules before you came in. Why are you so much in bucking the system now? I don't understand why that's such a huge deal to have a beard or not have a beard, or we'll just say have one.
I would tell you this. I mean, I know what I'm, like I just said, we talked about what the standards, standards and discipline now. But I will tell you, I am on the team of have them, but be within professional means. I'm for that.
Yeah.
You
He
understand?
said,
Like,
I think between the retention rates, changing culture is pushing the force towards various changes such as beards.
agreed.
And
Agreed.
so it seems like it's just like the economy. It almost seems like that. Like when things start going left, you got to make some changes
No,
to
no,
go
but
back right.
we was just me and somebody out here. One of me and my bros out here was just talking about this. But in this, I agree with you if you're talking about retention rates, right? Because you're dealing with a different generation. We keep talking about that, right? People that's coming in right now, right? We have to all be replaced, right? So you got a generation that you got the generation Y. They're gonna ask why. If there's something is
Mhm.
you can't do something and they don't understand why you can't do it, ask why, right? Um, but you also still have to again replace us. We have to go. New people have to come in. What are we offering, right? Because people looking at that. If you go on, you just said you did a job interview, right? And you go and you tell them, all right, this is who I am. These are the things I'm looking for, and you ask them, hey, well, can you give me this, down the third? They ask you vice versa, whatever, and they can't. You're gonna you're gonna go find somewhere where you can get that, or at least meet you halfway, right? Um, these new, I don't want to call them kids, but this new generation is different, man. Like if you ain't giving them something, they don't want it. They don't want to play ball. You know what I'm saying? That's just that. But I am on Team Beers. If it becomes a thing, right? If it becomes authorized, or I would say if it went, um, I'm with it. What is it harming? I already know we talked about. The gas masks and stuff like that. Got it tracking. Um, but if it's within professional means, right? What's the problem? You could look professional with a beard. What's the problem?
Okay, let me say this because I forgot to do this. So before we go into this topipic
Oh yeah,
anymore,
yep, yep, yep.
let me go ahead and put this out here. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? There we go. So anything that comes from unpopular celebrities is all unofficial. It does not. It is done in the capacity of Pete and Mike, not in the military members. All right, none of our views of our guests or ourselves represent the DoD, United States Air Force. All right, so make sure we put that out there. I forgot to do that. So that goes from whatever we've been saying too. Chief,
Right,
hold on. We're gonna
retroactive.
get to we're gonna get to you real quick. But two things I'll say. And I'm
Yep.
glad we just put that out there. Number one is you're right. The gas, I think the whole purpose of beers back in the day was gas mask. I think that was, I get it. I think that was the number one thing, right? Make sure you have a good seal on your gas mask because if you have hair in the way, you're not going to be able to have a good seal on that, right? Number two is we're not at war where we need gas masks right now. So I think that culture changes the dynamics in which people can push and push back. Because if we were back in when we came in, and even when Chief Counsel came in, and a lot of other old heads that are on here, I hate to call y'all old heads, but 20 plus years on here, that was the thing, that we were at war. This, gas mask was the thing. And even depending on where your state, man, you're stationed in overseas right now in the Pacific. So, you guys wear that shit like it's no tomorrow. So that's a thing. Now that we're not doing that, it's almost like, why do I need this anymore?
I mean, things could, it could be a flick of the switch. You know what I'm saying? It's still a thing, but
that's the problem. I hate to stop you. That's the problem. It could be a flick of the switch. So if it's a flick of the switch, was it really important? And if it's not important, then let's not harp on it. Then just change it. Boom. I mean, we could change things like that. If it's changed, if it's not important, do the Thanos snap, change it, and call it good. But if it is important, let's make it important. You can't have it both ways. And that's where I think people get frustrated, is they see it both ways. Some people get the business for having beards, and they got to go through hoops and bounds and leaps and cross oceans and everything else to get a waiver. Other people just get one. And there's no standard. So when you talk about standards and discipline, that standard, there's no standard.
It is a standard. Just people don't have the discipline to follow the standard across the board. Some do, some don't. It is a standard. It's just the fact that people abiding by that standard, you know what I mean, or staying within that standard. But again, like I said, I'm team beards. You know what I mean? I mean, you see people in all professional realms, with beards. You know what I'm saying? What is it really hurting? Again, I would say that it needs to be maintained, be professional. You just can't be out here looking all crazy like you've been in the woods for 20,000 years, and you know what I'm saying? Nah, be professional. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not. I don't think it's taken away from anything. We still could get the job done. You still could, get the mission done. You still could look professional. You still can lead. So I don't think it's just a lot of these rules and stuff, man. A lot of these standards and guidelines we have, and it's just in place for years. We don't know why at the very beginning of why. I mean, outside of what we just talked about, certain equipment wearing, war times, things like that. But times has changed. The world has evolved, and we have evolved as an enterprise. We're evolving as people. So, hence, and I think we're moving in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? But you got to make sure you have everything in line. You can't just be a Thanos snap, because if it does, you're going to say, all right, beards are good. You're going to have people come out here with zigzag lines in their beards, and half the beard going to be green, the other one going to be gray. And you know what I'm saying? So you gotta roll that thing out right. So I think it's coming.
It's so crazy that we talk about this beard approval thing, and I hate to think about it like this, but I think about it as any organization or company that you go to, they have rules, right? And it don't matter if it's the NFL, NBA, or as big as you want to go or small as you want to go. They have rules, dress and appearance, right? Everybody, right. Every organization, doesn't matter if it's McDonald's or the NFL, has dress and appearance, right? They all do, and they change their stuff as it is. And I agree with you. Sometimes it takes time. It's not just a Thanos snap, and I get it. It takes time. I do agree that if you want to wear a beard, it does not take away from who you are as a person or professionalism at all. You can still go up there and start in front of, the biggest, the highest of the high, the president of the United States or the president for whoever, and give a great presentation of your organization or a great briefing with or without a beard. Like, but I do think it's hard maybe to change people's minds. And when I say people, I'm thinking of people that's been in the industry a while, to change their outlook on that's an unprofessional airman if they have beard. Because most people want that grown man, chiseled face, nice clean shave, good jawline, nice high and tight haircut looking person in the military. And that's what they see as a military member. Because when we came in, when we were kids, that's what we were ingrained to look at. And now it's totally changed. And I think we are trying to shift the culture a little bit, but it's going to take, I agree with you. It's not a Thanos snap. It's going to take time. But I also agree that, man, go ahead. If you want, like, when I look at somebody with a beard, it's not changed. Like, man, I can't talk to you. You got a beard. If I need your help,
Yeah, no,
I don't give a damn you got a beard or not.
that's it.
It
That's it.
doesn't bother me at all.
Nah, but the thing was
Let's get this help done.
yeah, but the thing is who created, like, who said clean shaven, jawbone, blah blah blah, everything you just said, that's the professional image. Who said that?
It was way back. It was way back,
But
man.
that's what I'm saying. It was opinionated because it had to
Right.
come from man or woman, right? So it was the way they felt or what they believed. You know what I mean? Whoever they is, but where is it written that that's considered to be clean as a man, right? You say grown man. As a grown man, most men anyway, depending on what your genes or whatever, can grow a beard. It's natural. That's what happens. It's not, that's, you can grow a beard as a young man. You couldn't wait to that time to be able to get some sideburns and line your beard. I know I couldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But it's natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we wrote it in. You can't do this. You can't do something that you are naturally able to do, right? Depending on whenever it started, why it started. But I do understand what you're saying. It's rules and regulations to everything that you do, right?
Yeah.
And if you do sign up for something, right, and you sign a dotted line and say, I'm going to do this, and I'm signing up to do everything that you asked me to do, right, correctly, and not do what you asked me not to do, then you signed up for that. It's volunteer basis, right? I that's why I said I get what you're saying. If you just came in and you like, you come join the military, you're like, oh, why I got to wear this uniform? You came here, like you know what I'm saying? I tell airmen that all the time. We have conversations. Did anybody, put a weapon, up against you and say you need to go raise your right hand? No. Okay, then guess what? You made that decision. So now you here. Let's do what we're supposed to do and not do what we ain't supposed to do.
Yeah.
But again, I say, I am Team Beard. So when those words get written in there and they say this is what it is going to be, then I'm going to be one of the first ones to, be within that standard that's set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's my hardest part with it is like you knew the rules before you got here. Stop trying to if there's a legit reason, it should be no problem. But don't try to buck the system just to try to be that person. That's my only problem with it. Don't try to be that person. You knew the rules before you came here. Those rules, certain rules I didn't know, and I wish they would change. But there are a lot of rules that I knew before. Like you said, uniform. I knew I was gonna have to wear a uniform.
Yeah. You signed up.
A lot of what's funny. Chief remembers this, man. Before we used to cut our sideburns down to a point. I don't know.
Right.
I mean,
No,
yeah. Yep. So we found out we couldn't do that. That was unauthorized. And Chief remembers that we were deployed when this happened.
Yeah, you gotta swear them off.
Yeah, or cut them off. Or have that taper look and just cut off your sideburns. So we used to have taper look, but then have them come down to a point. So he came. I will remember this vividly. I'll never forget. This will be at my retirement speech. He came and said, we cannot have these points no more. And he used to have one. We can't have these no more. It's against the rate. I don't know who told him. I have a suspicion who told him, but I don't know who told him. But once he said that, it was no problem. And Chief, you could correct me if I'm wrong. It was no problem. We just cut them off. And we just figured out a new way to design our haircut. Did the ball fade or you did a ball taper or whatever. And you just found a new way to. Nobody bucked the system. Nobody wrote a letter to SimSAF and was like, "Oh, I think this is BS. Like we need pointed sideburns or whatever." So that's where my heart lies. I'm fine with it. If it happens to be a thing, I'm fine with it. What I'm not fine with is people that try to influence people to try to get what they want.
So let me go ahead.
No, that's it. That's all I gotta say.
So let me play devil's advocate, right? So please. how do you let me how I want to word this simplistically, how do you find change, right? Because change is looking at something and asking, right, why are we doing this? Can we do it a better way? What is it hurting by not doing it? You know what I mean? Find, like she said, find that delicate balance. How do you find change? Because I don't think you use the phrase bucking the system. I don't think it's that. Some people do it to just be going against the grain, right?
Those are the people I'm talking about.
Yeah, I figured that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people do it to go just to do it, right? You're gonna have those people in life. I don't care what it is. You tell it. You tell a person, hey, don't go left, go right. Left is alligators down there. You're gonna have somebody that want to see them damn alligators. Period. Point blank. But you sometimes you have to ask the question, because we get in a rut sometimes of just doing stuff just because somebody say, oh, you can't be doing it. But what's the reason behind it, right? If you can't sit somebody down and get like, you can't do this because A, B, C, and D, right? People gonna ask the question. You gotta sometimes go against things to find change, or take the risk. Let me say, take a risk to figure out how can you evolve from where you are, or why are we doing certain things. I look at all the changes within our career field from the time we joined until now. Somebody said, hey, we're doing that and that's stupid. We could do something different, and then boom, came another process or another program that made things easier, or you could give back to people and it wouldn't hurt anything.
Yeah. So let me play devil's advocate with you. I get what you're saying. When you came in basic training for, was it 6 weeks, 8 weeks? Man, I can't remember. 8 weeks.
It was 6 when I came. It's 6
okay. I remember. But anyway, so you shaved every day with the razor.
No, I didn't shave with a razor.
Okay, you had the the 1 in 10 or 1 in 100. That how did you do your shaving?
No, just seriously, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I had never in my life shaved with a razor until that day, until I got to basic training. Yep. And the day I did, my face blew up like a balloon, right? So that's when I knew, like, oh, something ain't right. I done shaved wrong or whatever. But I had to go to medical. That's when I figure out. Now I know why Chief said I said that flawlessly. He was talking about pseudo-follicular light. That's when I said that. But anyway,
I got it.
That's when I found out what that was. And then I always shave with clippers, even to this day. Right. So they asked me that. They gave me, that's the first wave I ever had in basic training. They allowed me to go back in. You know how you had the closet where all the civilian stuff you bought, you locked it up in that closet. You didn't get it back until. They let me go in there, get my clippers, and I was the only one in my flight that was using Andy's clippers to shave my face, bro.
So boom, you're giving me that's the correct way for everybody that's listening to this or will listen to this. That's the correct way that you get a waiver, right? I'm not saying that's the only way, but that's what my version, Dominic Peterson's version, is the correct way to get a waiver, right? You try it don't work, and you figure out a way to make it work. What everybody else, and like you said, you were the only one in your flight. Was there 60, 50, 60 people in your flight?
About 60, 70? About 60, yeah, 60.
Okay. Yeah. 60. So you're, 6% of that, or 1/6 of the flight can shave, or excuse me, needs clippers. Everybody else shaved. And we all sat in there in the 20-day or 8 sinks or whatever it was. And there go Chief too. Chief had to do that too. It took me over an hour to shave my face for work. I didn't know it'd take that long. But so everybody else was good for 8 weeks with shaving. And sure, I nicked myself 1,000. I'd still do now. Nick myself 1,000 times, and I, had bumps that break out too. I bump up a little bit too when I shave, especially around the neck area as well. Shave wrong or hit a hair the wrong way, especially, African-American males, because our hair is coarse, it grows in and it comes in, kind of spirally. So that's what causes some kind of bumps as well. So we have that all the time. But for 8 weeks, you were good. All of a sudden, you get to your first base and stuff changes. And you're just like, man, my face is this. I can't get a waiver, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, you can, because you did. And in basic training, it's almost impossible to get a waiver for anything. It's almost impossible. It's harder. Now you just make an appointment and go get seen. But before in basic training, you got to find time and
schedule and all that. I got
yeah. So now it's so much easier just to have your finger start typing, put on there, and you could talk to anybody in the world right now and say, hey, this should be a change and blah, 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 blah. And to have people like yourself and probably myself go on there and support those individuals. And once they get support, it's like a ball rolling down a hill. It just gathers steam, and then it almost like forces people. But my question is, what did you do for the first 8 weeks? For the first 2 months, maybe more, because the tech school, depending on what your tech school was, what did you do then? And that's my devil advocate question, is like, what did you do for those first 8, 10? Now, as you grow into a grown man, because some people join when they're 18, and as you grow into a grown man, you change. And so maybe it's 4 or 5 years later, you changed and things change and your body changes, and that's why I got it.
Mm-hmm.
But for everybody else, what did you do?
See, first you got to think about information, right? Everybody might not have known, they could have just sucked it up and never said nothing to the TI. You know what I mean? Just say, hey, my face is burning, or I got these bumps and I don't know. You took people from off their mother's porch, right? And granted, I was a little older. I wasn't no teenager when I came in.
Me either, yeah.
But most of you think about the flight, a lot of them, the large percentage be between 17 and 19 years old, right? And sometimes even 20. But you still got some people just came straight off the porch. They ain't trying to say nothing to these TIs or nothing to. They just want to get through their time, and press on. But when you get into the active Air Force, the environment is not so controlled, right? So it's a lot easier. You start seeing people more, act more, of a human being. You know what I mean? And not saying TIs don't, but they structure. They have to instill that those standards and discipline us and break us down, and build us back up to become airmen. But then when you get to your first base, it's a lot more lax, right? And you got a direct supervisor. Now you can start finding out this information if he or she, is doing what they're supposed to do. But in basic training, it's not as people are less likely to communicate unless you're just that type of person. You're gonna raise a flag.
Right.
Me, it was just completely different from me. Like no shit like burned my face, and so I was like, this ain't right. This ain't never happened before. I need to say something. And again, I was a little bit older. I was already living life before I joined the Air Force. And that could be it too, but just because they was doing it and going along with it at that point in time don't mean it was right or it wasn't a problem. They just didn't bring attention to it.
Yeah. I think we can kind of put this beard things to bed. I think at the end of the day, we're both on agreement that when it happens, I'll be on board for it. Go ahead and, if you have a waiver now, religious or medical, do your thing. And when it becomes a thing, if it becomes a thing, I'm all for it as well. I have no qualms either way.
I think we pause it for now because I want to reach out, man, and find somebody to talk more about the medical aspect of it. Because I know that's probably a big piece with whatever, if there's a review going on with the reviews that's probably going on with beards. The medical standpoint, the medical piece to it is probably a huge or intricate part to it. So I'm gonna let's do some digging and get somebody to talk about it from a medical standpoint and give a different perspective.
I want to hit on
what else we talking about.
Yeah, I want to hit on Chief's his thing because he asked the question. I'll put it back up here, man. I found it really quick. I'll put it back.
Stephen A. thing.
No. Oh, no. So you would have to do some research because it would just be me talking, which wouldn't be no fun. It's pretty crazy, but with I can't pronounce his first name, but his last name's Idoka. He's a coach. But anyway, you have to do some resersich. But lack of mental health. There you go. Yeah, lack of mental health or my evals, and I'll leave my eval alone. But
like not up.
Yeah, that goddamn system. But lack of mental health providers, man. I have a personal touch with this one. I'm sure a lot of people in the Air Force do. You go ahead, because I'm probably gonna say something wrong.
That was no confidence at all.
No, I'm probably gonna say something really wrong.
Bro, it's such a. I want to touch this too when we got a good lineup coming up, man. Let's not give it to him, but we got a good lineup coming up. But I want to discuss this too when we bring one of the guests on too, man. But just mental health in general, bro. Like I think we made a lot of strides in recognizing, the seriousness of it, but I think we got a long way to go. And then Chief talked about medical providers. One thing we doing right now at Wolfpack in the squadron, man, we got an embedded MFLAC right in the squadron, embedded to the unit, straight for the defenders. Great opportunity, great asset. Something we didn't have, back when we was younger. We have a mental health provider. Shout out to Captain Altman. He basically he is embedded with us in a sense too, not strictly to us, but he's embedded with us too. And then we have a chaplain that comes through, spend time. We actually had the physical therapist come dedicate to us on like 1 or 2 days a week, and she comes in the squadron, right? And you can set up appointments in the squadron. So I think we making huge steps with things like that. But again, we got far to go, man, because a lot of people are so afraid to bring attention to their own personal mental health issues, because either one, lack of the education when it comes to seeking providers, um, fear of what damage it can do to their careers, especially when you a gun toter. Um, and then just not knowing where to go, or not knowing how to recognize they have an issue that should be put on the mental health table. But I think we need a larger pool of mental health providers, man, because people dealing with a lot of stuff, man. A lot of it goes unnoticed. Um when it comes to, like, you and I, for example, right? You doing 365 away from your wife, um you know away from your normal routine. That throws a damper in family dynamics, how you operate. Same with with me, away from my wife and kids. um so a lot of times that some people can't everybody can't handle that, and doesn't handle that the same way. And it's good to have people to sit down and be able to talk to and go through things, because nobody's perfect, right? You might be going through something, your kids might be going, you can't automatically touch on it. Now you weighing on this stuff heavy on your mental space. Um and it needs we need to have more avenues and less, what's the word, reluctance to go seek help, right? And I think it's good that they come to us now, because now it kind of adds that privacy to talking to these individuals, because they in your place of work. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So let me we got a lot of questions coming. Yep, Flanagan, I'm gonna get to your question. I want to do Chief's comments real quick. So don't answer none of these, but we'll get to the question. You have a lot of ambiguity when it comes to what the MFLAT can do versus what a true North professional. That's part of it as well.
Yeah.
And this is where we get to the question. All right, you have frontline supervisors to some degree are equipped and hesitant to communicate with are equipped are all equipped. Well, okay, I think I get it. With
Yeah.
subordinates when it comes to their mental health. Hashtag try. So here's what Flanagan said, which is a great question, which we'll get to. Um, how do we how do we help our airmen feel comfortable bringing these issues to us as a supervisor? So this is what Chief
But
said. Right, it starts with building rapport as a supervisor, and for supervisors to be present and genuinely care.
hey, one 1,000,000%, right? You already know I am when it comes to that.
Right.
When
Wait,
what
wait, wait.
my Go ahead.
Last thing said, I will get to you. All right. Also, supervisors must know and understand what the resources are. All right, go ahead.
True indeed. Like I said, the first time, education, right? Knowing what's out there, knowing how to steer, where to steer them into. But it start with communication, man. And I think it comes full circle every time we get into these conversations, because people are becoming so promotion driven, right? Everything they do is,
Mm.
what am I doing, what can I do to benefit myself, right? Everything is that. Because if you think about it, right, if they were smart, if you think about it, if you sitting down and you talking to your airmen, and you figuring out who your people are, and they are mentally and physically, emotionally strong, right, to do what they're supposed to do, carry the mission, or handle those tasks that you're getting, right? That's helping you get your job done. Ultimately, they're getting their job done, you getting your job done, your people being taken care of. That's gonna also help you with getting in them positions to, for promotion, so on and so forth, right? But they're not looking at that. These people, they looking at, what can I do that is going to directly set me up. But in the meantime, you got people suffering, and you don't even know that they're suffering. So it's important to sit down and just like Chief said, just talk to people, make them feel comfortable enough to feel like they can come to your office or come to your cubicle, right? Or call you on the weekend and say, Sergeant, whoever, I'm going through something, and I just need you to hear me out, right? That you got to make people feel comfortable enough to do that. I hate cookie cutter leadership, man. I hate people let me take that back. Hate is a strong word. I strongly dislike cookie cutter leadership, right? I strongly dislike people that pretend, that they want to be a human being, or be personable, right? I got a problem with that, man. Like I do. Like, because people can see through that. When you show up and you fake, right? um People can see through that. You know when somebody's genuinely trying to be in your corner, or converse with you, or figure out who you are. You know when they putting on, right? You know when they just doing it because they have to do it. That's not helping people.
Couple folds here that I'll take care, or I want to address. First one that you mentioned is promotion driven.
Yeah.
Um, I will say a lot people don't think that if you help out people under you, as far as a mental health standpoint, stuff that doesn't, as Drake said, I hate to take his line, but no trophies, right? Stuff
Yeah.
stuff that you do for no trophies will not be as flashy as stuff that is done with trophies. So people won't realize it, right? If I help out Airman X with a serious mental health issue, it could take 2 hours of my day, right? To sit down and talk to this person, get the ins and outs. You fix the problem, or you address a road ahead for fixing it. I don't have to let everybody know, nor would I let everybody know that we're
Right.
doing this. So it
Right.
does not have that same oomph as if, airman is messing up at work and you do a disciplinary issue. Now all of a sudden you're taking care of them as well, right? You're making sure your forces, you're doing your standards and discipline and all that stuff, making sure everything's good. So
Mhm.
I think a lot of it has to do with that, because Mike, and I hate to put you on the spot, but you know as well as I do, and I'm not afraid to say it. When shit happens wrong, everybody's around and everybody knows. As far as when there's a big situation to deal with, if there's a dang, I hate to use it, but active shooter somewhere, everybody's gonna go. Everybody's gonna be there, all hands on deck. When it's over, everybody's gonna congratulate everybody. Good job, well done, blah blah blah. And then people are gonna get their flowers individually. Yeah, did you see this person out there running around? Blah blah blah. Because that's
Mhm.
part of the job, and that should be addressed as well. Here's what I'll say: you have to be your own flower bearer. Also, you have to give yourself your own flowers for doing things that nobody else is going to know about. And when you go to your promotion board, or you go, that's not an EPR bullet, right? If you devour an active shooter, that's an EPR bullet. If you help out an airman with a mental health situation, it's not an EPR bullet. You can't even put that down. Right. So I think what you said about promotion driven is very, very true. A lot of people are, and they will see this as almost a waste of their time, because they can't, while they're doing that, they can't do stuff that helps out them personally. I can't, how is me helping out my airman gonna, with a mental health issue, how is that gonna help the senior know that I'm good at my job?
Hmm.
And so I think when a lot of people see that, they'll choose to weigh and balance when they're going to help people out, which is a fucking foul. And I hate to cuss like that, but it's a big foul on how we do business. But a lot of people are there, and they have got to that position because of that, and they will not change. They will never change, and you cannot change them. So, Sean, to answer your question, all supervisors are not the same. So you might have a supervisor that does not care, that doesn't, as Big Mike said, a cookie cutter, and is just gonna do whatever that little brown book says, right? And gonna take how they're gonna not where they're at right now, but how to get to the next level. And a lot of that does not say help an airman with mental health issues, right? It's going to say take care of airmen, or whatever it's going to say. I don't know 100% off the top of my head, but they won't do that. So it's a big fine line, and you're going to, maybe somebody that helped you out is not a quote unquote supervisor. Maybe they are just a person that you work with. Maybe, if me and you are working together, I'm your supervisor, and me and you don't, I'm not giving you what you need. Go talk to Big Mike. Go talk to anybody else. Go talk to somebody else and get the help that you need. I want to get to a lot of these comments because we had a lot of them. We'll continue on with this because I think we're going to mental health, but we're kind of going to supervisory thing. I think mental health issues will get better. Therefore, all need to work on connecting with Big A Airmen because suicide affects everywhere. 100%. We must continue to champion, smooth, normalize, seeking mental health. Hey, Chief, that I'll tell you, and we'll talk about that. That's a hard one, especially with our career field. And you know my story more than anybody else does about how I feel about mental health. I think most people are afraid to go get help as an airman suffering from mental health diseases because they are not sure what to do, or even worse, not sure how to empathize, care, take ownership straight up
Chopping
give
up.
it up.
Um,
I would never
chopping up, bro. That's your as Osamo
want
said, your Walmart
the,
Wi-Fi. You hear
yo,
me?
man, chill, man. I'm out. Hey, we got to save the internet for the war fighters, not for the podcasters.
Here we go. Here we
But
go.
so look, this is good for Flanagan, right? All we need to wait. We all need to work on creating that welcoming atmosphere. Mike is right. Far too many NCOs are self-created, i.e., chasing stripes. Yep. And as Chief said, you don't need to be a counselor to give a damn. As a NCO, senior NCO, we need to cast that net over our airmen to show them that we care.
Yeah, and it's small things, man. Like you never know, what somebody's going through, right? You walk past people every day in the hallway, man, and you never know what they're going through, right? Sometimes it's just a simple, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? Yeah, I'm doing all right. You sure? Yeah, I'm doing all right. Or no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's just a simple, greeting, that'll change a person's whole day, right? Versus just walking past them. Like it happens a lot, man. Like I don't know why. Like a lot of times when I'm going on lunch, man, and I might just be walking to the BX across from the track or whatever. A person will look you right in your face.
Yeah.
Bro, a person will look you right in your face and not say nothing to you and just look away. Like that shit is, to me, that low key bothers me, man.
Yeah.
Because I see people. Hey, I don't. You ain't got to be a defender. You ain't got to be a. You don't even got to be active duty. But if I'm that close to you, we in eye shot, ear shot. Hey, how's it going, man? All right, and I'm pushing. You know what I'm saying? Um, but it's those types of things are just simple, right? And that alone, like I said, could just change the trajectory of somebody's day. But people be so wrapped up into themselves, man, and not caring about other people, bro. They don't want to take the time to find out or create that rapport, that environment to where people feel like they can come to you. Chief Skibisky, man, she was on I think she was on UMU with him. Shout out to UMU. She was on, I think it was one of the episodes with them, and she said, I love this line, and it was super simple. And she said, everybody expects you to come to work and like everybody. Like they get mad if you don't like somebody, right? We all human beings, right? You ain't gonna like everybody you work with. I don't care what the situation is, but just still be a human. Even being professional, you can greet somebody or ask them how they doing, right? You don't have to like them. You don't have to be best friends with them. Yeah, everybody, you ain't gonna be tight knit with everybody, but that doesn't have to stop you from checking on people. You know what I'm saying?
I want Chief kind of opened up his doors and kind of let us into what happened. He said I had an airman see me stumbling going up the stairs to give comments at a ceremony. He came by my office to ask me if I was okay. He said, "Man, it meant the world to me, especially in my mental state." He actually cared. It made my, I think, day 100. Fun fact. What do you say? You don't need to have rank, status, position, or money to care about somebody. Don't talk about money. But yeah, 100%, man. It helps. It helps. And I always say, man, and Chief heard me say this, and Mike, I think you heard me say this. Who you are gets people into the room. What you say keeps people in the room. So who you are is gonna, if, like I always say, if Kobe, RIP, but if Kobe came to speak, man, I'm in there. I'm there automatically. Because of who he is. Now, what he says is going to be if I ever go see him again, and or if how long I stay there for. So if you are command chief counsel, we'll just say it's going to get people in the room because you're a command chief automatically. because of where we're at, how we are impressed by the position that you have made. But what you say is going to rely whether I actually stay there or not. So when you say you don't need rank, status, positions, money, take care of somebody, you sure don't. But it sure the hell helps. It sure helps get people where you want to go, because a lot of people will go see, as you even stated, let's go see the first sergeant. That's a position. Right, you have a problem with marriage counseling, you have a problem with finances. Everybody knows or should know it from a supervisor. Oh, let's go talk to the first sergeant. That's a position,
Yeah.
right? And he has that position. Now, some first sergeants are
Trash.
yeah. that. Well, okay, all right. I guess
let's
our little
just call it
personal.
what it is. Let's just call it what it is. Nah, that was this. Eric, you can call anybody and say that though. But yeah, I mean, be honest. Call it what it is.
So you can go see your airman and go talk to them about the same stuff you're talking to your supervisor about, and get a different, point of view or whatever, which is good as well. I encourage that as well. But the mental health part, the lack of providers. Let's go there real quick. I know we're running short on time. The lack of providers is a big deal, because how long it takes to get an appointment done. It's a big deal. If I go ask for help, I need help right now, there are people that you can go see. And if emergency situation, they'll come see you. Other than that, you be like, make an appointment for a week, come back another week. A lot changes in 7 days. A lot changes. And you need more outlets than just a health provider. They could provide different things and go to school for that shit. And I have no idea what they go to school for, or
go to
therapy.
School for that stuff.
Yeah. But, and they can help you out with that stuff. But I can't. And so that's cool. But I can help you out with, like you say, we come from different backgrounds. I have a different perspective than you do. I've seen, maybe as far as experience, more things than maybe you have. That I can give you a different perspective, or maybe just open your eyes on different things. That's why we have a podcast. We can open our eyes to people that have different things. They can open our eyes to different things. So use those resources as far as a supervisor, but don't think they're a mental health provider. They more or less can show you a different way of doing things.
A lot of
shout out to my boss, Colonel Scott Mills. This leader makes a priority to take care of folks. Love working with. Okay, shout out to him. All right, big shout out. Hopefully he follows us.
A lot of people just want to be heard, man. A lot of times, people don't want you to get in there. We get misconstrued, right? Or people tend to stay away from situations, or not be so forward to help out when somebody might be going through something. That may be a mental health issue. A lot of times, sometimes it be nerves that they don't. I don't know what to do, right? So they don't do nothing, which is completely opposite of what you should be doing. Because a lot of people just want you to hear them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get so wrapped up in wanting to be problem solvers, and I have to work on that myself, right? Because you automatically, somebody say something wrong, or they going through something, your first mode is to go in, how can I fix it mode, right? And a lot of times that ain't the case. A lot of times people just want you to hear them out. They just got something on their chest and they want to get it off, and have an avenue in order to do so, right? And it just start with just listening. If most supervisors learn that, or leaders learn that, right, and not always want to be the smartest one in the room, always feel like they got to overtalk everybody, and just listen, sometimes that solves the problem, or at least helps the problem, right?
Yeah.
Or help you find the solution. When you hear what's going on, because you go and start running in save the world mode, and you going down a rabbit hole that has nothing to do with what the issue is, right? The person going through marital problems, and you trying to help them figure out how to get a car loan, like you don't even know what's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a lot of times it just take them to people just listen, bro. Like what's to find out what the problem is, man.
Yeah, I think you know what, Mike and Chief, I wish you were on here to kind of answer this. What do you do as a supervisor when you going through mental health, not big problem, but going through some problems, but you still have airmen to take care of? Do you think a lot of supervisors try to bridge those gaps or cross those lines? Like, I'm going through my own problems. Now you come with problems. That's why I can't give you the best advice. And I'm so oblivious to it, I don't see it, because I think I can handle it, right? I think a lot of mental health stems from that, and it rolls out of control. Like, I think I can take care of it. It's like I hate to say addiction, but anything. You think you can handle it, you think you can handle it until you can't. So while you thinking you can handle it, you're trying to help airmen out and giving them some, wrong advice, not smiling at people, not saying having a great day, because you're forgetting about all those things if you were 100%. So you're operating off of 40%, 50%, and don't even know it. You're just trying to do it because I know if I take a knee, sit down, I'm losing opportunities as far as maybe promotion, maybe, things I need to make rank. So it's like, where do I balance? Because I only have a certain amount of time to make rank, right? For staffs, it's 20 years. For techs, it's 22. Masters is 24. You only have a certain amount of time to make this rank. If you lose an opportunity because you might have to take a whole year off, hopefully it makes you a better person. But it's almost like you have to go through rehab. And while you're going through rehab, you can't be helping people out. What a lot of people don't do is they have an injury. I'll say injury because I'm thinking of a sports analogy. You have an injury and just push through. And then while you're pushing through, you're trying to help airmen out. And that's when you get those conversations where they're going through mental health and you're talking about car loans. Because you're going through your own shit as well. And you don't want to take a knee because of that.
But that's a twofold too, right? Because again, I say people aren't blind, right? People see, right? They know what's going on around them, whether you think so or not. My first answer to your question would be take that knee, right? Because what you're doing is you teaching them to do the same thing. If they see you struggling, still pushing, right, trying to make function out of dysfunction or function dysfunctionally, right?
Function
dysfunctionally, right? Like I give you example, right? That's like you got a bike, right? And the bike got one pedal, but you know how to ride the bike with the one pedal. Why not just fix the bike and ride it like you should be instead of functioning dysfunctionally? You know what I'm saying? But people do that. You know what I mean? Like I can still do it, but can you do it to the full capabilities that you would normally do, right? If you was 100%. So
a lot of these, I hate to cut you off. I mean, I just did, but
no, you don't. You did. Go ahead.
A lot of people will take these risks because they think they're operating fine, where they're really going through, and you don't realize until it spirals out of control. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, I need help. Well, those 3-4 months that you didn't go get help, because at the initial is when you should go get help. Like, I hate to say, like, a deadly disease, but you could pick it. The best way to get in front of it is to catch it early. That's the same thing with mental health, right? The best way to get in front of it is to catch it early. A lot of these times we wait till the end and then be like, help me. Like, bro, where was this at 3 months ago?
But I'm gonna say this to you too. Who is not just that person's fault. Where's the team? Where's the team? And that's why I say you don't know when something's wrong with a person if you don't know when everything's right. You know what I'm saying? If I don't know you on a regular, normal basis, how do I know how can I spot when something's wrong with you? 9 times out of 10, I can't. That's why it's important, because we all do it, right? Especially, and I only can speak for us as defenders, but that's what I'm gonna say, especially us. We how long we live by the embrace the suck mentality, right? That's what we ingrained in our head, especially our generation and probably the one before us as well. But where's the team? Because if I know you, let's talk you and I. How many times have I said to you, bro, take leave? I don't want to. Come on. You know what I'm saying? How many times have I said that to you? How many times have we said that to people in our circle? You know what I'm saying? Because we take the time to know who we are as people. I can spot. You should be able to spot a mile away when your wingman is not right. You know what I'm saying? But when you don't take the time to figure out who people are, then they're allowed to suffer in silence, right? They're allowed to be operating on 40% and not get the help because people around them are not knowing when they aren't right. You know, that's when the team's supposed to come into play, man, and snatch them up out of it, make them take a knee, right? We just talked about that the other day too. Like, I don't understand how people be having 130 days use or lose. Like, take your leave. You know what I'm saying? And then those same people be like, I'm burned out. I don't know. What are you doing about it? This Air
Mm-hmm.
Force is going to operate with or without you. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? It's period. It's inevitable. We all got to check out of here at some point in time, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, whatever the case may be. People got to take care of them as well, right? Take your leave. What?
What
You
about
want
what
good?
if I tell
Somebody
you this?
go ahead.
Go ahead. All right. What if I tell you this? A lot of people don't want to take leave, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, but I could be because they don't want to miss an opportunity. Because timing is everything, and when you miss one, it's like, God dang, like if I just wasn't on leave, I would have been here. And you could put that in for anything. Not saying that, a big situation has to happen and now you're not a part of it because of that. It could have been anything.
Mm.
Just right place at right time, and you missed it because you're on leave. You feel like you missed it because you're on leave. What do you say to them?
What you say to them is your time is your time. Everything that's meant for you is going to be meant for you. It's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. If it happened while you was on leave, it wasn't meant for you.
Mm-hmm. And that's
You know
more
what I'm
like
saying?
of a faith thing. Like, have
Yeah,
faith.
no, but I'm saying people be trying to people. You can't control fate, right? You can't control time. None of us can. You can't stop it. You can't fast forward it. It just ain't gonna happen, right?
Yeah. But how many times
What's
have you seen? How many
But
times have you seen somebody at a function and be like, "Bro, ain't you on leave?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm on leave right now." I'm like, "What are you doing here? Like,
no,
why you
yeah,
want to leave in here?" A lot of people, I don't want to call it FOMO, but maybe that's the word that it is. They don't want to miss out.
listen, man. To each his own. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm gonna say is, I just said we all gotta punch this clock at some point, right? You don't take care of you. You don't take care of you. You don't take care of the people that's going to catch you when you fall out of this Air Force plane. You know what I'm saying? When you jump out of these gates, who's there on the other side, right? Because that leave can not only be beneficial for you, beneficial for your family,
Mhm.
right? For the people around you. You know what I'm saying? Like that time is important. You can't get it back. You know what I mean? Like I was just talking to my supervisor the other day, and then one of my peers, right? He just had his first kid. Shout out to Flores, Mike Flores. Congratulations on your newborn. Um, but he said something real to me. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna repeat what he said because that was between us, but he said something real to me. But you can't get that time back that you lose, right? So use that time for the people that's around you. Use that time for you, because at some point in time, you got to come out of these gates. You're gonna miss opportunities. It wasn't
Mhm.
meant for you. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's weird, man, is I like to play poker, and I like to say, what William Young just said, timing is everything. He just said, but at the same time, let the cards where they fall, play the cards where they fall, right? Play your own hand. Which I get. And as a poker player, man, you fold in a hand or whatever, and then at the end of the day, you might have won that hand if you would have played. So now you're thinking, man, if I just play every hand, I'll be good, but you're gonna be broke trying to play every hand. So,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
you try to catch that one, and you lose out on 20, and you feel better. But a lot of people, as a card player, man, which I hope there's card players out there, but as a card player, you feel better miss or losing 30 and catching one and winning one. I don't know why it's like that, but you feel so good when you be like, yeah, I'm glad I played that hand. You play a shitty hand and you win it. You be like, yeah, now I can play all the hands because I'm hot or whatever. And what I'm trying to say with this is, yeah, you play your cards as they fall, but you try to control the outcome with the cards that you have. And when I say that, I'm saying that if I try to take leave and whatever random days I try to take leave, it seems like those are the days that stuff happens. And when you come back, be like, yeah, what happened? They be like, oh, we did this, we had this happen. Like, God, dog, I wish I was here. I wish, because the 90% of the other time, nothing happens. And then it seems like the time, and maybe it's like this for you, and a lot of people need to speak about it more, so it's more prevalent. But I don't know if you feel the same way. It's like when you're on leave, stuff happens. It's like, God, dog it, I wish I was around for that.
It
Or
happens.
you don't think like that.
I don't think like that, because what
Interesting.
I'm thinking about is the time I'm about to spend on leave, being away from this building, like decompressing. That's what I'm not thinking about. As long as nothing, bad happening to my people while I'm on leave, but and
Right.
then whether or not I'm on leave or not, if something bad, I'm gonna be there for them. I'm on it. But everything else, man, like I said, you had to chop it up as it wasn't meant for me, or you might miss that one. and you catch something bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to look. I'm looking at it as glass half full. Maybe that opportunity was meant for somebody else. That's why it didn't happen while I
Good
was there.
point.
You know
Yeah,
what I
that's a good
mean?
point.
So you gotta look at it like that, man. You ain't gonna catch all the fish. You know, it just ain't gonna happen. But the one you do catch, you make the best of it.
Yeah, hey, I like that, man. I think a lot of people, I like that. We're gonna have to use that again. I think a lot of people do try to catch every fish in the ocean,
yeah,
and
it
they
ain't possible.
want to make sure their net is full while somebody else only has 2 fish. They
Two
want to make
fish.
sure, yeah, they want to make sure their net is full. That's a good point, man. I like that analogy. I really do.
Yeah, man. But you know,
Yeah,
like I said, you just gotta control what you can control, man. Shout out to Colonel Jay Ringer, man. He always would say, control what you can control. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's just that's what I believe, man. Control what you can control. Like, but you're taking that time. You can't talk about mental health in one standpoint. Then somebody look at your LES, you got 103 days of leave. Like, what are you taking care of you? You know, sometimes it's self-inflicted. Now, sometimes people can't control it. I get it, anxiety, depression, stuff like that. Sometimes that's just something you can't control, right? But sometimes you can. Take your time, take a knee, right? Sometimes as a supervisor, you guys see a troop. Hey, I need you to take a knee tomorrow. You know, take the day off tomorrow. Go on a trip or whatever. Like that stuff is important, man. Like it. I'm speaking from experience because I done told you a million times. We actually did a show about it, about cruises and this and that. Like that stuff was important for the cohesion of my family, right? To keep the cohesion of my family, my mental space. Like those times are needed, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like that's how you reset because you can't. Who said it? K. Wright. You know how your people gonna plug into you and your battery gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? How you supposed to help them out and you ain't even fully functioning? You know, you got to think of
I
it like
agree.
that.
I forgot to tell you, I did take a cruise too on while I was on leave, man. It's pretty dope, man. I went to the Bahamas. That was pretty dope, man. A little 5-day cruise or whatever it was. It's pretty
Hey
dope.
man, I believe me. You know, I know, man.
Yeah.
I'm a cruise endorser. You know how I do.
Indoor. I went on Royal though. I didn't do Carnival. I think next time we might do Carnival just because of
Nah,
the atmosphere.
once you've been on Royal, you don't want to step back.
Oh,
Not knocking Carnival, but Carnival is like, in my opinion, Mike D opinion, it's the first one. Like Carnival, you go to kind of get, you know what I mean? And then once you start shaking and moving, you Royal, Norwegian, to
so we
me,
messed up. Oh, all right.
yeah,
We did it backwards.
you started at level 2. But I mean, the fact that you did it, you didn't do it backwards, you did it. You know what I mean? That's what really matters.
It was fun, man. There's a lot of stuff on the boat that happens. It's pretty fun, man. It's pretty wild, but it was cool. It was cool. But that I really don't have nothing else. I'm not sure if you have anything. I really don't have nothing else.
Nah, I'm just looking forward to this lineup. Getting everybody locked in. And starting this next half of the season off right. Shout out to everybody that did tune in. I know the time was a little different, but we're gonna be adjusting, back and forth to kind of accommodate everybody. But shout out to everybody that's still rocking with us. Everybody that's catching it, on the back end. Hope y'all got something from this. Shout out to all our team members that have been shaking the moon these last couple months, man. Getting the business. Shout out to everybody out here, the Wolf Pack that's watching. I know they up, they supporting. That's all I got, bro.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that's a good way to close out the show, man. Yeah, we got a good lineup coming up. I haven't seen everything, but Big Mike got to reach out to a couple people, and we hopefully get some fire guests on. I think, or if you can get what I'm saying, throw in a little punchline, fire guests coming on. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get that situated. But yeah, I think that's about it, man. Thanks for y'all for joining in. Chief Counsel, if you're still up, I know it's late out there. I appreciate you joining in, all your questions and comments, giving us a couple topics to talk about. I appreciate that. Chief Wiener, is always much love and everything. Hopefully you and the family good out there in Germany. Felicia Ferguson, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, man, she got so many stories about me. It's dangerous. And Sean Flanagan, man, thanks for your comments as well. Really appreciate that as well. Oh, Chief's still up. God, dog, bro. The Eagles ain't even playing yet. And by the way, about the Eagles, I was hoping to see some comments on your Facebook about the Eagles. I see you've been quiet. Maybe this is a new strategy that you're trying to inflict. If you don't say nothing, they'll keep winning or something. But I'll say it for you, fly Eagles, fly. They doing their thing. So that's pretty good. But Big Mike, when we coming back on? Is it gonna be next week?
We having our Air Force ball late, man. So our
that's
Air Force
super
ball,
late.
Yeah, our Air Force Ball is next weekend. So if we do come on, it's gonna be about the same time. We could discuss that offline.
Okay.
But yeah, our Air Force Ball is actually next weekend, man. So it's up at Osan. It's a joint
Oh,
event.
that's
So
cool.
yeah, so it's us, Daegu,
Oh God.
Osan. Yeah, it's pin joint. So it's supposed to be big, man. Looking forward to it. Like we literally got the O Club and the E Club. It's happening simultaneously in both locations. Um,
That's weird.
they actually allowing people to either wear mess dress, military attire, or civilian
Get out of
attire.
here.
Yeah, so just to kind of appeal to the younger, a lot of the airmen, man, they a lot of them won't go to Air Force balls because of that, which they should still, it's part of your Air Force uniform, one of your Air Force uniforms, but they actually allowing that this year. So I'm looking forward to it, see how it turned out. We've been kind of helping the little as much as we could to with the committee, couple defenders on there, helping out or whatever with ideas and stuff like that. So we'll see
That's
how that works, man.
yeah. Let me know how that works with the civilian and military attire with the or the mess dress or semi formal and then civilian clothes. Like that's like showing to a black tie event, but you can wear civilian clothes. Like that would be a weird look. The pictures are gonna look really weird, but yeah, hey,
Like
try
you
it,
said,
try it. Like you
different
said,
times, man.
yeah,
Different
yeah. You
times,
try it
man.
out. I'm all
Yeah.
about it, man. Try it out. See what happens.
So yeah,
But yeah,
we'll chop it up and see how that
okay.
works out. Maybe we do. Yeah, we'll chop it up. But
All
that's all
right.
I got, bro.
All right. What is this? Hold on, Mike. Vogue. What is that?
I can't.
Vogel?
I can't see. Big
Vlog
Mike.
after? Are you vlogging
Vogue.
after?
Vogue. No, it's Vogue. That's a hookah place outside the gate. It's a hookah place.
Oh,
What's
y'all
up,
already making
Flores?
plans. Don't be coming on the show making plans for
Hey,
what y'all
come
doing this weekend.
come on the show, bro. That's shout out to Flores, man.
On the show making plans for after that.
Hey, shout out to my man
Heck no.
Flores, man. He up at up at Osan.
That's something you text him about, man. Put all his business out
Don't
there,
hate
man.
on the people, man.
Nah, that's cool, man. Yeah, hopefully everybody's straight, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate everybody for going to watch this later. We'll come to y'all a lot more. Sorry about the break that we had. Not sorry. We had to take a break, right? Take some leave. We took some leave from the show. Yeah. So yeah, we'll be back full effect, man, getting things cracking. We only have a few more months of 2.0, and then we should go back to better internet and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, man. Shout out, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for tuning in. Unpopular Celebrities, man.
Peace.